So this is your second option for your activity today. We are going to be making a robot collagraph. Okay, collagraph. So what you'll need, go ahead and get out that cereal box, any kind of cardboard box you have, not something really thick. I'm going to use a Coke container. Again, it's pretty thin, not super thick. Go ahead and get that cut open. Cereal box would be the best, but like I said before, use what you have, and this is what I have. Open that up. Go ahead and cut off these pieces, because we want some nice flat pieces to cut. But don't throw these away, because we can use these for our details in a second. So slide that over. Same thing here. Well, again, don't throw those away. I'm going to start with this one. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to start cutting some different geometric shapes. I want a variety of geometric shapes. So geometric shapes being a rectangle. I'm going to cut a bunch, and I'm just going to start making little, again, don't throw those away. I'm just going to start making little piles of those. So we've got some rectangles. A long one. Now, you don't want to cut everything teeny tiny, but these are going to be what I use to make my robot in a minute. So again, now I'm going to cut another one. Let's see, so I have rectangles. What if I do a couple of squares? Make a little square stack. Yes, skinny rectangles. I'm even going to cut a couple of triangles. Now, when it comes to the triangles, you could cut some like this, or if you needed to draw it first, that is fine too. So whether you want to just cut or draw, for me, it's easier just to cut it. But that is up to you. So again, geometric shapes. So I've got some triangles. I'm gonna do a couple of circles, and notice I'm moving this hand. I'm never turning my scissors towards me, because ouch, I don't want to do that. I don't want to accidentally get my hand. There's one. You could do ovals, just lots of geometric shapes. Fix right there. There we go. Okay, so I just cut a bunch of geometric shapes. I've got small rectangles, long skinny, squares. I'll cut this one a little shorter so it's a square. There we go. I've got lots of different ones here. Now I'm going to take a piece of paper, or you could use that other part of your cereal box. Honestly, the cereal box would probably work better, but I'm using what I have, and I have paper. And then I want you to look at your stacks. Again, I've still got this over here because I can use these to make more details in a second. But I want you to think about, what can I do to make a robot? Think about these shapes. What if, I'm gonna make this one a little skinnier. What if I use this one for the head? I'm gonna add that in there. And let's see, then let's give them a neck. We use a square for the neck. And I don't want to overlap them. See how they're meeting up? Okay, I don't want to necessarily overlap it. Let's see, let's give them a body. Here we go, and some legs. Now that leg goes off the paper, so I'm gonna make the body a little bit smaller. Now Now, when you do your robot, it does not have to look like this. I would love for it not to look like this. Okay, let's see, let's add the leg. Trim it just a little bit. One. Two. I'm gonna give him some feet. Do a long one. Ooh, I know, I'll cut this one in half. So as I'm working, I'm just kind of thinking through what I want it to look like. Think about how you could use those shapes that you have to make your robot. Let's see, I need to make that one a little skinnier. And notice, I haven't glued anything down yet because you see how I'm having to adjust? If I glue it down first, then I cannot adjust, okay? And I've kind of got to lean to the side. That was on purpose. Let's see, let's add his arms. Oop, that one's a little too big. Trim it. And notice, I haven't overlapped anything yet. I'm just getting, I have just the basic part of his body. Now I can go in and glue. Now you could use regular glue or you could use a glue stick. If you choose to use regular glue, you only have to go around the edge. If you go around the edge, you don't need any in the middle. Okay, so just a little bit will do. Now the only thing is if you choose to use regular glue, you'll have to wait a minute or two to let it dry, okay? But a glue stick will work as well. Either one will do. Again, they're not overlapping. I'm gonna do this one with this glue. Again, it doesn't have to go on the edge, or excuse me, in the middle. Got my words mixed up. There we go. Now I will tell you, the Elmer's glue does stick a little bit better, okay? But again, you have to be patient with the Elmer's glue. So I'm gonna put the lid on that for right now. Now I can go in, I'm gonna use my leftover pieces that I cut, because again, there was a reason I cut all those. I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna start adding some details. So let's see, I could do some eyes. Maybe if you put like a dial there, you could do that. But again, see how my head's moving? It's because I used that Elmer's glue. I gotta wait a second. I gotta be patient, Miss Reason. Gotta be patient. Let's see, I'm gonna add details on the eyes. You could cut little eyelashes if you wanted to, or eyebrows. Let's see. You can add some buttons. I'm gonna make some little ones to go on there too. And again, if you need to get out those scissors, do it. Notice I keep pulling pieces and then cutting some more. Now when you're done with this activity, if you would like to, the bonus activity is gonna use this same robot again. And it's gonna involve using tin foil. So you'll have to be sure to check that out too. Let's see, let's do one of these over here. I think that would look nice. 1 and 2. Here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna spend the rest of the time just adding lots more details. Now that we have our robot glued down, all of the details are on, we are ready to start doing the Collagraph print. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take your other piece of paper and you're going to lay it on top of your robot so you can't see him anymore. Then you're going to take either a broken crayon, or do you remember that little trick I showed you where we pulled off the end? Let me do it on this one. Remember, we're just gonna pull off the end of the paper. Okay, you gotta kind of use those fingernails. This would be a good thing. You could ask your parent or adult that's there to help you with this if you need it. But don't pull off the whole thing because it will mess up your crayon, like it could break easier. Okay, so now you're going to lay it flat and you're going to rub it back and forth on the robot and it's going to appear. You ready? I'm gonna put this hand on there nice and strong and I'm gonna rub it back and forth. You see he has his arm. Those are some of the buttons on his body. So what we're doing is we're creating a Collagraph print and we're rubbing it on there. And see, this hand is not getting picked up. You want to leave it on the table and on the paper. I'm going to keep going from side to side. Now, funny story, some of you that are very attentive to details may have noticed some things have changed. You notice I'm on a different table. Miss Reason accidentally deleted her video and I had to do it again. So now we're at my kitchen table. There we go. Oh, best part. You see his eyes starting to come through? Let's keep going. So again, I'm laying it flat. It's moving back and forth. Oh, he has another eye. I have my robot. Again, this hand had to stay strong because if I were to move it, the print would get off and you wouldn't be able to see him as well. There we go. Now, here's my favorite part. We're gonna take it off. I have my robot and I could even do it again. So if I want to get another piece of paper and I want to change color, I can totally do that. So I'm gonna take my green this time. See, this one's already flat right there where I've done this before. Lay it flat, and same thing. Again, when your crayons break or get dull, don't throw them away because they are perfect for using to fill in the background or making a Collagraph. See his face? Just sliding it back and forth, rubbing it on the paper. Oops. Again, this hand is not leaving the paper. It moves, but it doesn't get picked up. There we go. Here we go. So now I have another robot. Now, if you noticed at the bottom, where the list of materials were, I'm gonna set this over to the side. You may have seen that I also said an optional part was to get a washable marker and then a paintbrush. What we're gonna do is we're gonna use some of that contrast we talked about with Georgia O'Keeffe. We want to make something that causes our robot to stand out a little bit more. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a washable marker. Again, this part is optional. And I'm just gonna kind of add an outline around it. I'm using the side of the marker. Lay it down. I'm just gonna outline that whole robot. Now keep in mind, you have your crayon, so if you wanted to go in and add more details on your robot, this would be a great time to do that as well. But I'm just gonna show you how we can add a little contrast with our marker. Again, this part is totally optional. Now, if you chose to do this activity instead of the drawing, I would encourage you to check out the bonus activity, because the bonus activity is going to use the robot you just made. So back to this guy, it's going to use it again. So you would already have a head start, but that is your choice. So I would recommend at least watching the video and seeing if it's something you would like to do. Almost there. There we go. Okay, now this would be a great time if you had a placemat to put underneath there. I'm gonna slide him over. I'm going to take just a plain paintbrush and some plain old water, okay? 1, 2, 3. And I'm just gonna come over and I'm gonna move it outwards. I can use that marker to paint the background. And I don't want to put any on my robot because I want to be sure he's able to stand out. But I can paint like that. And I'm just gonna kind of add a little shadow. Notice I'm not painting on the robot. I'm moving it outwards. So that's one cool thing with the washable paint. Remember, if you do this with permanent marker, like a Sharpie, it won't work because it's not supposed to move with the water. It's supposed to stay there forever. But that's one cool thing. If you don't have watercolor paints at home or a certain kind of paint, you can always use markers and make it work. See, I can paint that whole background like that. But again, I'm not gonna put any on my robot. Remember guys, you could do this as many times as you want to because you still have your Collagraph, your original robot you made.